6:44 here at Syracuse University, and we are creeping towards prime time, and it is time for one of our prime segments on our 16-hour Boost the Cuse broadcast here on 323-23. Welcome back, everyone. Scott Hansen here with you. And if you're hungry, it's getting towards dinner time in many of our, in this time zone and many others as well, we got you covered. Former Syracuse Orangemen football player turned chef Darrell Smith will be sharing a delicious guacamole recipe. Now, are they bringing that in studio or not? Is this remote? I haven't been given all the logistics here. Darrell, I hope you can share your wares here with us in studio. But it is time for one of the biggest athletics moments of this broadcast. We examined so many aspects of campus life here at Syracuse University throughout this broadcast. We are going through a time of transition unlike any other, so pleased to be joined by the boss of Syracuse athletics, John Wildhack, class of 1980.
Yeah.
1980.
I'm the old guy in the set, Scott.
Well, we'll take that, actually. We need to feel young.
There you go.
Because two 51-year-olds, one who is coming into the grandest moment of his coaching career, Adrian Red Autry, the new men's basketball coach here at Syracuse University, joins us as well. Guys, this is a heck of a time for Syracuse University, for Syracuse basketball. John?
No question, and I'm just so pleased. You know, first of all, what Coach Boeheim accomplished here in 47 years will never be replicated anywhere, any sport, any university. Unbelievable. Will not be replicated. To have someone of Adrian's experience, of his knowledge, to work with Coach Boeheim, to learn from Coach Boeheim, obviously being an alum, you know, to take over and to lead the program. I'm really excited about what Adrian and his staff will do. It's great that Jerry McNamara and Alan Griffin remain on the staff, and I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what these guys are going to do.
You were the point guard when you were here, running things in the dome, and did it so well, and now you're the point man of the program that shaped your life, changed your life. What has this been like for you?
It's been a surreal moment, surreal experience. But I got back to work. I got right into it right after the press conference. So, but it's been unbelievable.
Wait, did you have to move boxes from like one area of the facility to the next? Did you legitimately take over Coach Boeheim's office already?
No, not yet.
Okay.
We got to give him a little bit of time.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. But you got right to work, which at this point of the season consists of.
Well, you know, in today's athletics with the freedom and the transfer portal, you really focusing on your team, trying to, you know, retain your players, and then it's always recruiting. So it's the first time that we can get back out on the road. And so you're trying to balance those two. But the number one objective right now is to retain our players. So I think not only me, but every coach around the country is doing the same thing.
Well, I hope that maybe if there's an off chance that some of them are watching the broadcast here at any point, or even this segment right now, when they learn and hear more about this university, for which the education is right in front of them, the basketball experience is right in front of them, and I'm not just talking about the basketball history, but the illustrious alums, the people who care about each other, love each other, and are thrilled that we've had common experiences that have shaped us as students on this campus, and as three men on this set right now, and as human beings. I would say, why would anyone want to go anywhere else? Would be my soft pitch right there, Adrian. But I hope, and I'm sure you feel the same way, that this is the place for anyone who wants the best in academics and in basketball.
You know what? I need to hire you on my staff.
Let's go. I feel it right now. Well, I talked to Felicia, Coach Jack, last segment or two segments
still
ago.
got opening.
Yeah, exactly, right? I think I might have found my third assistant right here.
Go ahead, please.
No, but I mean, those are the things that we talk about. Obviously, I've experienced that. Being here, being a part of this community, the education piece. I don't know, I've been able to experience it after I left here, you know, in my journey, whether it was playing professional basketball or entering the work world or even returning back. And there's no place like this. You know, I tell our guys today, you know, look at me. You know, I come from very similar situations to you. You come to a university like this, you know, they care. This is real family. People say it a lot, but you don't see it a lot. You know, and I think at this university, what John has done, you see it. You know, this is real family.
John, Syracuse is a national brand. Syracuse basketball is has been and is one of the premier programs in the country. You could have run a national search. You could be still in the middle of it right now.
Right.
You made a decisive decision, and I'm sure you were very thankful that the right man has orange blood inside of those veins there, but why was Adrian the right man, and you didn't have to do what could have been available for you?
What was huge is what he's accomplished in his career and how hard he's worked, and at the levels that he's worked. You know, high school, AAU, Virginia Tech, you know, director of operations, an assistant for Seth Greenberg, comes to Syracuse as an assistant, associate head coach, tremendous recruiter, you know, the people, the guys that he's developed in his time here. So when you add that all up, and listen, I talked to ex-coaches around the country. I talked to other people who I really, really trust, and I got their input, and they were like, "You got the guy right there. Like, don't overthink it." And they're right, and I'm delighted and thrilled because, as I said, I can't wait to see what Adrian and his staff, what they do with this program.
Is there any model that you might be looking towards? You're taking over for a legend and taking over for a man for whom you played. I'm thinking Duke just actually went through a similar thing and actually won the ACC tournament this session. Is there any model or any mode, or who will you lean on the most in terms of the bumps, hurdles, challenges that will present themselves within your first year or first years?
Well, I'm very fortunate that Coach Boeheim will still be around, not too far from me. So I always lean on him. I mean, he's been through every type of scenario that you can possibly think of in running a basketball program. So I'm fortunate that I have him right down the hall.
I resisted the urge until this point in the interview to ask you about the 2-3 zone. But now I can't. I got to give in right here. Look, I think people have already said, basketball people have already said, no, Red's going to run his own thing. He'll be multiple. He'll be whatever else. Do you want to tell us anything about the strategy, the way you feel playing basketball should be done, particularly on the defensive end?
I think you got to, it's a game by game. You play the defense, and I said this in my press conference. You play the defense that gives you the best chance to win.
There it is.
And that's what we'll do. Some certain games will require us to maybe to play zone. Some games will maybe man to man. Certain games press. I think every game will dictate what I have to make that decision, what I think is best to give us best chance to win.
Now, in my sport, football, there are guys who will kind of honor coaches that have gone before them. Andy Reid would draw up a play for his Kansas City Chiefs that maybe Vince Lombardi ran back in the 50s. What if you opened up first ACC game, you just open up first possession and 2-3 zone, and you get him out there, even if you're going to play man the rest of the game? Just a thought. I kid. Guys, we're here today on the premier day of giving. From Syracuse alums, family, friends, fans of the program that watched you back in the day, that have seen you guide all of our sports teams. What does it mean? And John, you're the tip of the spear here when it comes to athletics, which gives Syracuse University such a national and even international profile through, of course, television and whatnot. The fundraising that will be earmarked to come to the men's basketball program or to the athletic department in general, what does it mean?
It means we provide a better experience. We can provide a better experience, Scott, for all 600 of our student athletes. When I meet with donors and they say, why should I do something? Because it's the experience that we provide, and it's the full experience. It's just not the competitive. It's the academic. It's financial literacy. It's career development. It's growing as individuals. So that when a recruit's parents ask me, like, what do you really do here? I said, we're in the business of developing young people. That's what the university does. Develop me, right? We're in the business of developing young people, and I look at them and say, when your son or daughter leaves here, whatever their next endeavor is, our goal is that we prepare them to have success. That's what our job is every single day.
And when it comes together, actually, Adrian, I want to give you the chance to answer that same question. For the men's basketball team, we see the Mello Center is one of the premier facilities, and yet there is always room for growth, and especially even in today's NIL NCAA world, I would think every dollar counts, and it will help not only to enrich the young men's lives who will play on your basketball team, but the campus life itself for the students who are here and the alums who take a lot of pride in seeing that ball go through the hoop.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the experience that we try to provide for these guys, not only on the court, but as students, as young students, trying to grow and learn and having access to be able to provide different things for them, to make them think differently, see different things. That's why this is so important.
Okay, we also have to hit the rewind button just a little bit. Well, the rewind button just to recent times and the rewind button back to 2003 because I had to watch it. I think I saw it on YouTube or maybe through the Syracuse website. But the championship celebration, what was that like? What was it? You know, it brought back so many great memories for so many of us. I think we've got some B-roll of the event itself. Adrian, a thought? I mean, obviously you were not on that team, but
I was playing in France at the time.
Were you? Okay.
So it was late, and I woke up to a phone call from John Wallace, and he was just screaming in the phone, "We won, we won, we won." Now, I caught like the highlights of the game because I had a game the next day, so I kind of fell asleep, and then I seen the highlights.
You fell asleep during the national championship?
It was late, France.
Okay, all right, you're dedicated. Shows me your dedication.
It was late.
Shows me your dedication.
But I just remember John Wallace just giving me a call early that morning, just screaming and yelling, like, "We did it, we did it." And that was like unbelievable, and I was just smiling. Then I talked to Coach probably the next day, and just remember congratulating him. So those are my memories of it. Obviously, I got a chance to watch it, later on, but just getting that phone call from John Wallace and talking to Coach the next day, and just hearing the passion and enthusiasm, how happy they were. I will never forget.
I wish someone would have recorded that conversation between two Syracuse greats. And we see the ceremony here just recently celebrating it. John, what was the dome like? What was this campus like?
It was Scott, it was a special weekend. It really was. The Friday night event, it was great. And just to have Coach and Jerry and Hakeem and Kat Duaney and Mello on stage and just, let them reminisce, right? And kind of bust on each other a little bit, tell some stories on each other. It was great. And it was just, it was, you just understand how impactful it was. And I think it's one of those moments where every Syracuse alum or fan, where you were, right? The night we won the national championship. So to relive that was tremendous. And then, we did Saturday, we introduced the team at halftime, and then post-game we retired Hakeem's jersey and Jerry's jersey. So that was kind of the ribbon, that ties together the entire weekend. A really special and memorable weekend.
Let's listen to one of the team leaders, one of the great all-time Syracuse basketball players. I would still say the greatest freshman basketball player in the history of the NCAA, Carmelo Anthony, when he took the microphone at the ceremony to relive 2003 and the glory days.
I just want to say thank you guys. This has been a long time coming. It's been 20 years since we all stepped on the court together to be able to raise this trophy and to be able to raise these banners. Today is a special day. It's not for us, it's for you guys, for us to come back and give it to y'all, give y'all this energy, let y'all see what we doing right now. But most importantly, we couldn't have did this without the support of the Syracuse fans. So we just want to say we love you guys and thank you.
And John and Red, I dare let my imagination wander to 20 years from now, 30 years from now, who knows, when we could be celebrating a team that's able to cut down nets and bring Orange Earth together the way that team with Carmelo and Coach Boeheim did. I want to thank you for your time. Adrian, go get him, man. We can't wait. Cut it loose. John, congratulations on all the circumstances surrounding this. Thank you both very much. And ladies and gentlemen, again, if you would like to earmark your donation to the Syracuse Athletics Department or specifically to the men's basketball team, you can do that right now on the website. Please consider and give generously. Guys, thank you again so much.
Thanks, appreciate it. Boost the Cuse.
Boost Cuse. Go Orange.
Go Orange.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, time now to change a little gear, get us back to another Syracuse athlete, former Syracuse player, football player, is going to help us grab a snack right now. Get your chips here. Former SU football player Darrell Smith, now a cooking celebrity, is here to help us make some tasty guacamole. Do we have you? Darrell, are you with us?
You see me?
Let's go. What's the hat? Whoa, the bill of the hat is, I don't know if it's the camera angle or what do we got going on there?
So this is my company. It's called the Maze Balls. This is my my meatballs and sauce company. And of course we got the S on our chest.
There we are. My man and my fellow former Syracuse football brother right there too. You have taken your time on the Hill prepared you for something that maybe you had this planned before, but it's a divergent path from where a lot of people would have gone to where you're at right now in your career as a celebrity chef. How did Syracuse help prepare you for the success you've had in adult life?
Well, I think Syracuse helped me become a man. Like, you come to Syracuse as a child, and then once you leave Syracuse's campus, like, if you're able to endure all those winters of waking up at 5 a.m. to do 6 a.m. workouts at Manly, and then go all day, and then at 8 o'clock go to class and trek through the snow, you were prepared for anything in life. And so with me, it was the same exact thing. Like, the NFL didn't work out. I injured my neck. I came back to Syracuse. I finished up my master's. I moved to New York. I worked in advertising. And then I just went on to the next thing, just like I did after Syracuse, and figured out what I was good at. And it just so happens that I make the best meatballs in the entire world.
Bring it.
And so when I decided to enter a meatball competition, I won, and I've been cooking meatballs and that transitioned into TV, and I've been doing that for 6 years now. So Syracuse prepared me a lot just to being a man, and then also just conquering my fears and thinking I could do anything. I tried through snow.
As we all have. Okay, well, look, for your Syracuse brothers and sisters that are watching this right now that maybe haven't ever seen you do your thing, this is a broadcast. It's basically a TV show. Let's put you to work. Let's talk a little Syracuse, and let's see you ply your trade as well. What do you got in front of you there in your kitchen?
Absolutely. So today is for all of the folks who want to watch Red Archery with this new men's basketball team. If you don't know how to cook, I'm going to teach you how to make something tasty so your friends don't make fun of you at the shindig.
Okay.
So in front of me, we got a few things. I'm going to make guacamole today, but it's going to be with my own little twist.
Ooh.
I don't know if you've ever seen it. You ever see this thing right here?
Well, it's like what do they call it? A mortar and a pestle, right? And it looks like
A mortar and a pestle.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And into that, we got some cumin that I've toasted on the stovetop. Now, cumin is something that you might not normally see in guacamole, especially if you're making it at home. But like I said, if you want to make things the best, you always got to pay attention to the details. And anybody who's played sports at Syracuse University knows, like, it's all about the details.
Yes,
and if
sir.
you play D1 sports or anything, it's all about the details. And so those little nuances and details are the things that make your food spectacular. All right, so let's get back to it. All I'm doing is breaking this down, right? And the mortar and pestle is great because it's a easier version of a blender or some type of spice mixer.
Oh, look at that.
And
It's
I like it
almost
because
powderized in just a handful of strokes there. Is that
exactly, and that's what it does.
okay?
That's exactly what it does. So once you get that, you put it all to one side, and I wish you could smell my fridge. It smells like feet. Like, that's the thing about cumin. Like, cumin smells like feet, but it tastes good.
You started to lose me there. I think we're breaking up. I can't. No, I'm kidding. I don't wish I could smell it, but I wish I was close enough to, because that means I would be enjoying some of this guac in short order here. So what's next step?
No, absolutely. Right. So right here we have our avocado. I just took the liberty of cutting it up and taking that out of its shell. And then right here we got some bougie salt. So I got this salt a couple weeks ago. I was in Milan, right? And they had this salt at the store.
Okay.
And this is probably one of the coolest salts I've ever seen, because it's almost like a broken down salt. I'll show you all this in the light. But if you can see this, it's almost like little salt crystals.
Yep.
And I like to use these type of salts because it's exotic. And like I said earlier, it's all about the details. And so you always want to start by salting your food directly. And this isn't to say we won't use a little more salt later, but you always want to put a little bit of seasoning on your food before you start. Okay. So salt, and now we got a little bit of pepper. A little bit of pepper, I mean a lot of cracked black pepper. Mm-hmm. All right, get it all around. And next, over here, I've already taken the liberty and chopped up a few other things. So we got some red onion, and we also got some jalapeno peppers. And I like to put these right into my mix before I smash it all together, because I like to smash all of the flavors together. Like those are the little details that you probably go to a restaurant and you're like, oh, why doesn't my food taste like that when I get home? It's certain steps that you take along the way that they just work. It will be like
that goes back to athletics, timing, the timing of when you make a specific move as opposed to another to get the best result.
Exactly. You never spin too early. So that's what it's all about. Like all I'm doing is going in the right steps. And the idea of it is, one, you season everything naked. Like if it's meat, you season that before you put anything else on it. If it's something like vegetables, it's the same thing. You always want to season those things so that they begin with that flavor. And guacamole is no different. So what you see here is all of those things mixed together, right? And now, once we get to this point, we're going to take that cumin and I'll put that in. Next, we got a little bit of smoked paprika. Smoked paprika is like my favorite ingredient in the whole entire world.
Really?
But what these two, oh yeah, absolutely. Like it's a little bit sweeter. It's a little bit smokier than regular paprika. And you could tell that you eat paprika when you eat smoked paprika. It gives you like a barbecue-y, like Southwestern style flavor to everything you put it on. And it's absolutely delicious. So here we go. We got everything mixed up, right? At this point, I've already taken a lime and I've zested that.
I was wondering when the lime was coming in.
Oh yeah, you must know how to cook too.
Dude, no, I can hear it. You can't hear it. I can hear the control room going ooh and ah right now when you're doing things that I can tell that they must do differently in their kitchen. So keep it going. You got our full attention.
There we go. So here we go. We got all of our things into our bowl, and at this point, you just want to taste it. Hold on. All right, watch me taste it. Oh yeah, that's the stuff.
I'm jealous. I'm like looking down here. I've got white sheets of paper with scripts on it. I don't have any chips. I don't have Darrell Smith's guacamole.
That tastes nothing like what I'm eating right now.
Hey, I do have a Syracuse-related question specifically for this. Like, so you're obviously a foodie now. When you were on campus, were you? And if so, oh yeah, somebody just throws me a little bag of Lay's right here. A little free product placement, no good right there. When you were on campus, what were you? Were you the average student that was crushing pizza and wings and mozzarella sticks and stuff, or were you a bit of a foodie? Did you have a favorite place on campus or near campus to get your vittles?
Oh, 1,000%. So as you know, football players aren't really allowed. Oh, I'm just squeezing some lime.
Yep, got you.
So football players, we aren't really allowed to go home during the holidays because we practice.
Sure.
And so a lot of the times the coaches will host people at their homes for Thanksgiving dinner. And there were a few years where instead of going to the coaches' homes, I took the liberty of cooking for my teammates at my place.
Come on.
And for me, oh yeah, absolutely.
Were you up at Skytop? Where were you? You were using a Skytop kitchen?
I was on a Winding Ridge kitchen.
No way. I was 107 Winding Ridge, and there was no gourmet meals coming out of there for the years I was in there, I promise you.
You had the wrong teammates. I was on 141.
My man.
right there in the bottom, yep.
So you would do Thanksgiving dinner for your Syracuse classmates and teammates?
Absolutely, because like as you get older, like I think the thing with a lot of football players and a lot of people who consider themselves artists, right? Like I think that football is a form of art. Now food for me is a style of art. And all it is just an opportunity to express yourself. And with a football team, like we always had that privilege, one, being in the locker room, we always were free to express ourselves extremely freely, and to kind of reshape that idea of what we think a man is based on how we watch our teammates, how we watch our coaches, the styles of different coaches. And so now what that is morphed into is food. Like it was something that I always practiced. It was always something that brought me joy in a way that I expressed myself. And now I get to do it as a career. And it's just the natural progression of things. Like it went from football to advertising, now to food, owning a catering company, and now being on television. Like it's the same exact thing. I just get to express myself in so many different mediums. And when I was at Syracuse, it was the same exact thing. Like I always look for different ways to express myself, whether it's through my clothing, whether it's through the way I presented myself, the food that I made for my teammates. And now, like I said, I get to do it full time. And I was that guy. I was the guy cooking for the team.
I love it. I love it. I was misplaced. I'm older than you, so I wasn't able to enjoy that. Maybe someday in the future we can link up as Orangeman brothers here. Speaking of which, it's easy to see why you're a success, and you obviously credit Syracuse University for much of that as well. We're here raising money today, the biggest fundraising day for the university all year. Is there an area about Syracuse, whether it's a specific school, a student program, maybe a student program, maybe one of the athletic teams, maybe the football team, where you would like to see people be generous and donate here this evening? Did I lose you, Darrell? Hey, Darrell. Either the paprika got to him or we're having a little bit of Zoom trouble here. I'll let him keep fiddling with it right there. But, Darrell, can you see me? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see me? Or do you hear me? Think we may have lost it. Darrell, take a chip, and I want to see you. Let's see it. You can't hear me, but I thought maybe I could mime it. Oh, okay. Well, undoubted doing a 16-hour show that we were going to have some little technical snafu there, and, well, we couldn't smell. Oh, is he back? Darrell, you got me.
I hear you now.
My man. Bad. You kept a smile on your face when you were fiddling with your device the whole time. I'd have probably jabbed it with one of the forks or knives that you got right there in frustration. Okay, we were closing out. I want to see you grab a huge chip and put a tablespoon-size chunk of that beautiful guac on there if it's finished. And while you do so, tell me, if you will, if there's an area of Syracuse, the university, one of the schools here, one of the student programs, maybe one of the sports teams that is near and dear to your heart that you would like to see people open up their generosity to here on our day of giving.
Well, obviously the athletics department, but also Whitman. I think Whitman does a really good job of nurturing young entrepreneurs. And for me, I was in IT and also Whitman. And it was one of those schools that just nurtured me. Like it taught me how to be a professional, like the professors, the different students, the ideas that people bring to the table. There's nothing like entrepreneurship. There's nothing like being able to call yourself the president of a company and to be able to choose your own path. And so when it comes to anything entrepreneurial, I think that Whitman is a great place to start because we're creating the future of business right inside of Syracuse. And we got a really, really good alumni base in New York City. And I'm just proud to be a Whitman alum.
Well said, my friend. All right, here's the moment of truth. Grab yourself a big chip if you got something right there. Let me see it. Let me see it. Get in that camera. Oh, I'm jealous. I am jealous. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Syracuse alum, former Syracuse football player, celebrity chef, and part-time IT technician, Darrell Smith, joining us live on Boost the Cuse. Darrell, appreciate you, buddy. Enjoy the rest of the bowl.
Man. Thank you very much.
See ya.
All right, brother.
Hi everyone, I'm Weijia Jiang, Senior White House Correspondent for CBS News, and I'm coming to you from the North Lawn of the White House, which I know I wouldn't be standing on if it weren't for Syracuse University. My time at Newhouse was so remarkable from day one. That's because the professors made us start doing the job immediately, telling us that it's something we couldn't learn from just the books. So we started reporting and being in the field and asking tough questions right away. And it is that faculty that made such a difference, not to mention the community. And after I left Syracuse University, I realized how big and how supportive it was. So don't forget to boost the Cuse. See ya.
There we have it. We start here in central New York. We go to Italy. We'll take you to Boston. We'll take you coast to coast. We'll take you to the White House lawn. as well. Thank you so much for that. Let's get a little update. We got to go to the tote board. I'm part-time. I'm a sportscaster, but I'm a frustrated game show host. I want numbers. I want action. I want to see it. And doing that right now is Newhouse graduate student Carl Winter at the big board. Carl, how we looking?
Thanks, Scott. It's great to be with you. I can give you those numbers for sure.
Let's go.
Great to be with you here on an extra great day to be Orange. I don't know how you've been doing this all day, but we've reached prime time here on the East Coast. I'm a West Coast guy, so they may still be at work, our 9 to 5 West Coasters. But over here on the East Coast, they have no excuse to not be getting in on the action here for Boost the Cuse and supporting the Orange. So let's take you around our Boost the Cuse website here at cusecommunity.syr.edu and some of the things you can do and see on our site right now. This orange button is where you want to go if you have not given yet. It's the easiest way to do it. Big orange button, you can't miss it. We're at almost $1.5 million right now, Scott. So the numbers are getting up there here as we get along in the day, but we still, as you know, have plenty of time to go. We're at 60% right now, and even 60% of our goal of 6,000 donors. So we're getting up there, 3,600 right now, but we've got a long way to go, 40% still to go here for our goal. There are a couple of other things you can check out here on the site. One of them is our schedule for the rest of the day. We've got some great content coming up with Scott, some great Syracuse alums that will be joining us here on the show. You can check out what we've got every hour, 44 minutes after the hour. But let's get to those numbers that I promised you. We want to turn the country orange. We're 6 states away right now. We've got
to wake those folks up.
I don't know what they're doing up there in the great north.
And granted, there's fewer of them in God's country up there, but we know there's orange up there.
Oh, there's got to be. There's got to be. So if you know your fellow Orangemen and women in Montana, North Dakota, Wyoming, Idaho, or even down in Arkansas and Mississippi, get on them, because if we do get all 50 states and we turn this entire map orange, that can unlock a challenge in which the chancellor is so graciously willing to give another $5,000 to the annual fund to support us here at Syracuse University. And that's just one of a number of different challenges that you can get in on today. We've got the Decades Challenge, depending on what decade you graduated from Syracuse in. Even if you're not an alumnus or an alumna or a student or a parent, but you just love the Syracuse Orange, you can get in on that challenge and potentially unlock another $9,000 for the university here. So whatever your interest may be, you can get in on that on the challenges part of our page. But let's go back to the leaderboard real quick, Scott, and just check where these donations, these generous gifts are coming in from around the world. Look at these parts of the world that we've turned orange so far. We've got Indonesia down there, a gift from Afghanistan. I see New Zealand is lit up in orange. Way down there, Peru and Panama getting in on the action as well. So we've still got plenty of time, whatever time zone you may be in, to turn this entire map orange in support of our great university. Let's continue down to where the types of people that these donations are coming from. Of course, that very strong alumni network has given almost $500,000 already just today here on Boost the Cuse. Newhouse School, of course. I have to support my own school. They're crushing it right now with almost 400 gifts. But Arts and Science is right behind them in terms of total money given, 81 grand coming from the Arts and Sciences. So impressive numbers coming out of a number of different schools here. I don't want to block these numbers from you. Let's continue down here on our website. Faculty and staff are crushing it as well. Advancement in External Affairs, 125 donations coming from them.
Nice.
Plenty more time. And you can even get your own name up here as a Boost the Cuse donor. You might, if you're lucky enough to have given just now, you may see your name right up here on the board. So a fantastic start to the day for them. We've got plenty of hours left to go. Looks like the class of 1995 is in the lead for total donations.
I think that changed. I think that just recently,
Well, I think what I may have done is arranged it by money. So they've given almost $50,000, which is impressive from the class of 1995. Let's check number of gifts. That's the same, right?
Okay, there it is,
so
there it is.
The current seniors, the class of 2023, have over 100 gifts given now. That's another challenge. If they get over 200, they can unlock some extra money. But the current students, Scott, are really hitting it out of the park here. Class of 2025, that's the current sophomores with 57 donors. Class of 2024 is up here. Even the current freshmen, the class of 2026, 36 gifts given from them. I believe their parents are crushing them as well. The class of 2026 parents are knocking it out of the park. In terms of the Dean's funds, the Newhouse Deans have 220 donations, rather, $56,000. So gifts coming from all over. There we go. The freshman parents just crushing it. 122 gifts from them. And then athletic funds, if you want to give to a specific fund, you can earmark your donation to go to a specific place. In this case, Men's Crew with 142 donations. They have been doing fantastic today. And before I send it back over to you, Scott, and close us out on this 644 broadcast, I just want to give a personal note of the tangible impacts that these gifts can have for you. As we're here on the athletic page, Scott, I'm a student athlete here at Syracuse University. We just talked to our athletic director, John Wildhack. So it sounds like if you've heard, you may know the answer to this question.
Go ahead.
Which sport do you think I play here at Syracuse University?
Oh, well, I have some intel. As every good sportscaster,
you've got the insider information.
Utilizes a research department. I know. Should I give you the answer, or do you want? I don't know if there's a way we can get it on social
Go ahead.
media.
You can give the answer. That they're up there on this list.
Cross country, track and field. You got long limbs, long levers, as they like to say, and those legs look like they could churn out some distance to me.
I'll pretend that that's what gave it away, and not the fact that I can't fill out this polo shirt. But I appreciate it.
Water polo was my second guess.
Well, I am from California, so that's a big California sport. You know, the guacamole that Darrell made flows like water there. It's
but I got to brag on you for a second. So I'm right on cross country, track and field. Is it true you run a sub 4-minute mile?
It is, Scott. I joined that club, and you're going to turn me red here on our live stream. I did do that this spring, which was fantastic.
My man. That is awesome.
That was incredible. But the personal note that I wanted to give here is our cross country and track program has reached fourth here on the leaderboard. And cross country and track, by the way, one of 12 programs in the country who are on the top 25 list in both the men's and women's program for the USTF CCCA Program of the Year standings right now. But for us cross country and track student athletes, from last year's Boost the Cuse, one thing we were able to purchase with the generous donations from that were 2 Boost treadmills. And basically what those do, Scott, is they allow us to run at less than our body weight on those treadmills. So I can set it to like 70% of my body weight and still get the same cardio benefit from this special piece of equipment. And it's a piece of equipment that 40 or 50 cross-country and track student athletes use in addition to any other student athlete here at the university. And those 2 things have single-handedly helped us to stay healthy, to be able to recover, which is really half the battle in my sport. So just those treadmills are an example of the tangible impact that you can have as a donor here to the student athletes at Syracuse University, but also anyone at the university. These gifts really do get put into play immediately and have an impact on student athletes and students here like myself who really reap the benefits of these generous gifts that are coming in throughout the day.
Well said. I'm glad you educated me on that. I didn't even know something like that existed. Let me ask you one quick question. Is the treadmill, is it mobile in any way? Meaning, like, could I take it and put it on top of my bathroom scale so that I actually, after a weekend bender over at Varsity, crushing some pizza and whatnot, will weigh less than what my actual body weight is?
We'll have to get to our research department on that. I have no idea. I imagine if you put the treadmill on the scale, it would skyrocket to a much higher number than you were hoping for.
Someone in physics could help me out with that one right there. Carl, thank you for the update. We appreciate it. Carl Roger Bannister Winter joining us.
Well,
live
it's a little more common
right
now
here.
to break 4 minutes.
No, I mean, you're still one of the rare people to be able to do that. Well done, Carl. Thank you for the time.
All right, Scott. Well, that's it for us here on the 644 segment here on our day-long broadcast. We're heading back to Boston after this to check in with Sean McDonough in our next segment. In the meantime, click around the website that you see behind me and make a gift to Boost the Cuse and support the part of Syracuse University that means the most to you. We'll be back at 7:44 Eastern Time.